Hey guys, my name is Ben Howard and we're out here at Southside Park to play around with Gateway's putters. I've been meaning to do this for a while because Gateway's putters are very interesting in the fact that not really many people throw Gateway at all, but the people that throw their putters, and they will throw them like religiously almost. And so I figured we'd pick them up, try them out, see how they feel. The only two that I'm really missing that I wanted to try was the Devil Hawk and the Shaman, but the rest of them are like their most popular putter molds. So I also got them in the most similar plastics I could find. I got two of them in the whiteout plastic and two of them in the eraser plastic. I just wanted to get something that felt similar, just so that way we're getting a good comparison for all of them. Problem is though, this plastic is very slick and I have really dry hands and it's really cold today. So if I'm not careful, there's gonna be a lot of slip outs today. But just to run through the discs real quick, obviously I had to get the Wizard. I already had this one from WavySoGroovy, shout out. But this one's, it's like GR plastic. I don't know, but it's a rubbery, grippy plastic. Something I'm definitely gonna need today. I might end up throwing this off the tee a lot. But I've also got the whiteout Wizard. But these are your like deep putters, not very domey, but have a small bead on them comparatively. But yeah, feel very deep in the hand. This one's pretty overstable. The rubber one's pretty straight. Next, we've got the Warlock. And the Warlock is interesting because it reminds me a lot of an ADR or a P2. And I'm curious if you can tell that by the flat profile. If I straighten the wind. This has similar overstability to the Wizard, but having that beadless feel, a little bit shallower feel is just nice. So I'll probably end up using this in the wind too. Next we got the Voodoo, which I really like how the Voodoo feels. It's got a very rounded rim, as you can tell. Like it feels kind of like a Luna, but like a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper, and it's a little bit more understable than a Luna. And then finally we've got the Magic. Magic, I was expecting to be a little bit more understable because it has a similar profile to the Voodoo, but has more of a blunt edge, as you can kind of tell. It's actually interesting because if you look where the parting line is, it looks like it almost indents in at the parting line. So it's really flat, even though there's a little bit of flashing there. But yeah, this is very similar to the Voodoo in my opinion, just straight, gonna kind of bend to the right, gonna push straight. I have seen people say these are really flippy. I just haven't really got that kind of flight out of them, but like I've said, I've also been dealing with some grip issues with all these discs, so that might just be something to do with that. But yeah guys, I'm really looking forward to doing this. This is actually the second time I filmed this video, so if you see some other clips where I'm throwing these discs, that's why. Fortunately, I clip on mic to my jacket, and then halfway through the round I took off my jacket, didn't realize the mic was still on there, so all you could hear was the audio from my bag. But it kind of worked out too, because that course was a little too long for these discs and I was kind of struggling to get them to the basket. So it'll be nice to come out to this one that's meant more for throwing putters. And hole one's a great hole to just throw all these discs on and see how they all fly. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's go and get into it. All right guys, so for hole one, we've got a par 3, about 300-ish feet, maybe a little bit shorter, but it is also slightly uphill the whole way. I'll go with the Voodoo as my main shot, because I think that one I can get there. We also have like a tailwind, I think. It feels kind of like a tailwind sometimes it feels like a right to left. So I'm just gonna hope it's a tailwind and go with the Voodoo. Dang it. Still turned over. I figured in that tailwind it would kind of hold straight, but that's about what I expected out of it. Next we'll do the Magic. Similar line, but more at the basket. Got it a little nose up and actually faded out on me. Dang. Let's see. I'll go with the Warlock next. This one I'll have to aim out to the right. Farther to the right than I meant to put it, but that should be good. Oh yeah. Let's see if we can copy that line with the Wizards. Yep. Dang, should have started off with him. I didn't think I could get it there that easy. past the basket, I think. Okay, so unfortunately, the Voodoo is the farthest away from the basket, and it's going to be the one I'm taking, of course. But the rest of them all end up within about 20 feet, except for the Magic. That one was like maybe edge of circle, whereas this one ended up all the way back here. It does feel like we've got a tailwind now, so that should kind of help. At least I won't go long in this putt, but these wizards don't like to stay in the air very long. Yeah, no. I would be kind of curious to try like putting with the Voodoo or the Magic, because I've heard people say that they're great for just like spinny, kind of floaty putters, or just really glidey putters. So I might give them a shot at some point, but maybe not in this plastic. All right, guys, so for hole 2, we got a par 3, 210 feet, something like that. I'm gonna be going with the Warlock as my main shot, just because I trusted a little bit more in this headwind to at least get there. I think it has a little bit more glide than the Wizard as well, but I'll also throw the Wizard just to see how they compare. But I just need to swing this out to the right, let it fade back to the left. It kind of feels like we have a head right to left wind, so that should kind of help a little bit. I actually accidentally threw that on some anhyzer, but I thought of it pretty well. I might have that one tree my way, but I think that's still in the circle. All right, throw this one flat, please. Nope, I ripped that on some anhyzer as well. And went about the same distance. Dang. All right, guys, so for hole 3, we got a par 3, about 190 feet, I think. Just right straight ahead of us, nothing in the way. Got a little bit of a tailwind too, so I think I'm gonna go with the Warlock. No, I'll go with the Wizard. The Wizard has, well, I'm trying to think. I think the Warlock is more overstable, but the Wizard has less glide. So I'm trying to think of which one would be better to throw in a tailwind. I guess the Wizard, just because I don't want to end up throwing too long. There's the hand slip I was talking about. Got to make sure my grip's good before I start throwing these things. Okay, so even with the hand slip, we still got up here into, I would say about maybe in the circle, maybe just outside, but got to putt at it. Ooh, there we go. Yeah. That would have gone in if there wasn't any chains or a pole or anything. All right, guys, so for hole 4, we got a par 3, another one in that 200-foot range. You can see it straight ahead. I'm gonna go with either the Wizard or the Warlock again. This time we've got a left to right wind, so I'm thinking Warlock, because it's gonna hold up to it and kind of push straight. That wind's not gonna let it get over as much, but I don't think I could really go wrong with either one. But I like how the Warlock feels in my hand and how it flies a little bit more than the Wizard. But let's see, just need to go a little bit out to the right of the basket. Just like that. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, the Wizard didn't hold up to that wind quite as well, but about the same shot. All right, guys, on hole 5. This one's another hole in that 200-foot range. You can see it down here to the right, though. This one is the best play is a forehand, but I really don't feel comfortable throwing any of these on a forehand. I don't really think they'll show you too much. So what I'll do is I'll take the 2 understable putters, Magic and the Voodoo. Just kind of throw them down the hallway, try and see if I can get them to bend off a little bit to the right, but mainly just sit down once they get pin high, because if I get pin high, and especially if I get pin high and a little bit to the right, I can get up there for like a 20-footer. I'm gonna go with the Voodoo as my main shot, because I trust it a little bit more to actually turn over, even on like a little bit less power. Just like that. Yes. Okay. Well, that might have been a little too much turn, kind of turned into that group of trees right there, but I think that's still going to be like maybe edge of circle putt. I'm going to try putting a little, no, I'll throw the magic flat. Oh, nope. There we go. Yeah, that's what I thought it might do. It did turn, but it just pushed straight, and that might be pin high, but odds are it's going to be a little long. Well, looks like I was wrong. The magic's like perfectly pin high, like exactly where I wanted the disc to land. So, yeah, Voodoo was too understable for this shot, but let's go ahead and make this putt. Ooh, over the top. All right, guys, hole 6. We've got a par 3, like 230 feet maybe, but yeah, down this tight wooded hallway. For this one, I'm gonna go with the magic as my main shot, just because I trust it for just like these really straight shots, or especially this one, because you want it to finish a little bit to the right. If anything, there's more room off to the right, so I don't want to throw either one of the overstable putters, but I'll throw the Voodoo in there, maybe put on a little bit of hyzer, see if it'll stand up. Pulled it. Oh boy. Oh, that was 2 very unfortunate kicks. Oh gosh. Well, that would have been a great shot if I actually threw it down the middle. That'll work. All right, guys, we're on hole 7. This one's a par 3, maybe like 180 feet. You see it up here. Best shot is just going to be a shot you can get to kind of push forward for about 50 feet and slowly bend off to the right without really turning over, just kind of pushing straight the whole way. I'm going to throw the main shot with the Voodoo because I can just kind of throw it flat and just have it kind of bend off to the right by itself. Oh. That's a pretty good kick. Well, even without getting the turn I wanted out of that shot, I'm up here in circle 2 for a putt. See if I can drop this in there. Ooh. Dang. I don't know if I'm giving that like a little bit of anhyzer out of the hand, but I'm noticing it just keeps like pulling over a little bit whenever I putt it like that. Put it hard. It could also be the fact that I'm putting into a headwind, which I couldn't feel till now, but well. All right, guys, for hole 8, got a par 3, 150-ish feet, maybe 160 feet, just right there. Biggest things you got to decide, do you want to go down the left side or the right side? But I think I'll go with the Wizard down the right side as my main shot. Just got to give it height and a little bit of hyzer and let it just kind of stall. Or just let it slip out and sneak through all the trees. Alright guys, we're on hole 9, final hole of the video. This one's a par 3, about similar distance to the last hole, maybe 180-ish feet, but it's up here tucked off to the left. So, of course, we got to empty the bag on this one. But main shot's going to be with the Wizard. No, I'm going to go with the Warlock. I'm just liking it a lot more. I'm getting much cleaner releases. It's not slipping out. But, yeah, let's give this a little bit of an ace run. Nope. Just kind of went straight. That's surprising. You got like a little bit of a right to left wind. I thought it would kind of lift it and carry it to the left. Ooh. Golly, this tee pad is not good. I like that. Oh man, just a little short. Let's see. Last 2 I'll go stand still. Ooh, I thought I hit that tree. Kick in. Oh, man. Nope. I like the line, just needed it a little bit higher and a little bit less hyzer. Well, somehow, once again, my first shot was the farthest one from the basket. The rest of them basically being parked. Let's see. It's a very makeable putt, though. Ah, dang. All right, guys, that finished up our round out here with Gateway's putters. I really liked how these turned out. All of them felt pretty unique. Even the ones that kind of feel like they fill the same slot, they do slightly different things, have very different hand feel. And I definitely would recommend all these discs if you're looking for any of these putters, really. Just to run back through them in the same order we started. The Wizard I really like a lot, especially in this plastic. This thing came out really overstable. But one thing I was noticing was, like, especially throwing this one side by side with the rubber blend one, it's like this one has different stability, but they have very similar flights, if that makes sense. Like, they both pushed and then faded out in the same way, but this one faded out earlier than the rubber blend one. And that's one thing I've heard about Wizards a lot, is that they're a very consistent mold. You're not going to find a flippy Wizard. You're not going to find a really overstable Wizard. They're all going to kind of do the same. They're all going to kind of do the same thing, have similar flights for you. So, I mean, yeah, you definitely can't go wrong with the Wizard. And it was really fun to putt with too, because as you could see, like, it wasn't like fading out whenever I would putt with it. I would just have to putt it higher and it would just drop. And I always like to see that whenever you can have a really nice putting putter and throwing putter. Next, we've got the Warlock, and this did pretty much what I was thinking. Like, it fills that slot of, like, the really overstable throwing putter that's not your, like, approach disc. Like, you're going to get glide out of it, you're going to get a lot of push, but it's going to fade on you reliably. And I definitely like it because, like I said, it's a shallower P2, shallower, I don't know about AVR, but, like, these are some of my favorite putter molds, the ones where you can throw them, know that they're going to give you a nice amount of glide, but know that even in, like, some strong winds, they're still going to either push straight or fade out for you. Next, we've got the Voodoo, which this one was interesting because I was expecting this to fly like the Magic was flying, and I was expecting the Magic to fly like the Voodoo's been flying, where this thing was just kind of, I could throw it flat. I didn't really need to throw it that hard, and it would just bend off to the right. And even on some hard shots, like you saw me throw on hole 1, it was bending to the right, but it wasn't, you know, turning over. It was just kind of pushing and fade and, like, almost fading to the right. Granted, that was into a tailwind, so this might act a little bit more understable in calmer conditions, but I think this is a really nice throwing putter. I don't know about a putting putter. I feel like this is too flippy for a putting putter, but I've heard a lot of people say that these are really nice for just like those circle 2 long bids where you don't want to give it a ton of power. And out of all the discs, I would say this one feels the most comfortable. Like, that smooth rim just feels really nice in the hand. And I like this eraser plastic too. This one has a little bit more grip than the whiteout plastic. I also like this plastic for these putters too, because, like, it's beating in really fast. Like, I've already got some scuffs, some dents, so I'd be really interested to see, like, if I put this in my bag, how long it would take for it to be that just, like, super flippy putter. Then finally we got the Magic, which, like I talked about, I thought this thing was going to be more understable because I just watched Trevor Staub's in the bag, and he was talking about this thing being what the Voodoo is for me. And obviously he throws harder than I do, but it's interesting because, like I talked about at the beginning, with this blunt edge, you wouldn't think it would really be that understable. Like, that edge is going to make it more stable because it's adding drag to the disc. So I don't know, maybe I just got a stable one, but I do like this one a lot. It's just like straight neutral throwing putter. So definitely wouldn't be a bad idea to putt with this one because that blunt edge also is a really nice place to put your finger if you put your finger on the rim. But I would say this is a similar stability like a Pure or that Luna, like just a really straight throwing putter. But as it beats in, it's going to turn into a really nice disc. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much everything. But I really enjoyed this. Throwing putters is one of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite parts about the sport. So if y'all have any other throwing putters you recommend for me to try, do a review on, please let me know, because I really enjoy doing stuff like this. If you have any other recommendations at all, please let me know down in the comments. But thank y'all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and y'all have a good one.